Video, I'm going to talk you through my journey of losing 2 stone, gaining it back multiple times, to now finally living in a body that I'm super happy and confident in and managing to maintain my results for a really long time. And it's going to show you how you can do the same without cutting carbs, starting again every Monday and having to give up your social life. So let's rewind, 25 years? So I'm 33 almost. And I loved PE in school, okay? I loved running, PE was my favorite subject, and that really carried on until I went into high school. And then high school happened. And obviously this is such a normal experience, I think, for so many girls, and boys are just being boys, but you know, they comment on your legs, they comment on your sweat patches. You start to become really conscious about how you look and how other people perceive how you look. Sort of stop almost thinking about how you perform. And I really struggled with that. I slowly started to really dread PE. I would cry to my mum to write me notes, and I would often forge notes myself and write my own notes to PE, and really got to the point where like I just didn't do it at all. I was just constantly excused from class. It's actually really sad when I think about it now, and a lot of my friends and clients actually are teachers, and I say this a lot of the time, that not every school is like this, and not every group of boys, girls, etc. is like this. And it might be the same for boys in the class as well as girls, you know, it goes both ways. But I really think like separating those subjects until you are in that kind of like 5th, 6th year mark, where you then can kind of come back together as like more mature, would be a really good thing. Because obviously my journey has led me to where I am now, but had that been an all girls class, I don't think my experience would have been the same. And I think a lot of young girls will experience what I experienced, and it really puts them off exercise. So that kind of happened and fell off my kind of fitness side of things there. Then I sort of got into drinking a lot, even from quite a young age, probably like 15, 16. I was drinking most weekends. And, you know, as 17 came along, fake ID to start partying. And then that became my kind of world. As I was then studying, I was out on the weekends, out during the week, 2-3 times per week. Takeaways, McDonald's, you know, you can imagine, it all adds up. And alongside of that lifestyle change came that 2 stone increase. And for me, I think especially with the going outside of things, what I really started to dread was that getting ready part. So I obviously used to love getting ready. That was like a fun time with the girls. And then it started to become this like huge thing where everything would get pulled out of my wardrobe, thrown onto the bed. I'd be having screaming tantrums and just feeling horrible, nothing fitted right. It was a painful time. I was so self-conscious. And you know, my group of friends, we've always loved that, like taking photos, that sort of girly part before the night out. And I really stopped wanting to participate in that, which was really difficult. Or I'd want to kind of like hide. I'd start wearing like really baggy stuff to kind of hide how my body looked, instead of having that confidence that I'd had previously. I knew I wanted to change, but I didn't really understand how. And probably at this stage, like Instagram was, oh my God, I sound so old, but Instagram was just coming around, and like it wasn't video form, it was literally just photos that you would post. I wasn't really as big into YouTube then. I wouldn't have known how to search for this stuff. So all you really knew was like the old-fashioned ways that like my mum had been taught, and that was really like restriction. Just cut things out, take things away, you'll drop weight. I still wasn't training, right? I literally just changed my food sources, cut things out, and I did. I dropped 2 stone. And I think what the hardest part then for me was like, I didn't like how I looked. Like, I didn't look like what I thought I would look like. I just looked flat, and I was like, oh, okay. So yes, things fitted better, but like when I was naked, I still didn't like what I seen, essentially. No muscle, no shape, no strength. Obviously now, being so much further on in this journey, like I understand that now. There's so much more information available now as well. But yeah, I just remember thinking like, why do I not look how I thought I would look? So then from there, like so many women, I just like went back to my normal life, went back to normal eating, started going out again, started reintroducing alcohol, having the odd takeaway. Definitely wasn't like anywhere near as bad as before, but I definitely rebounded and the weight came back on like really quickly. And I did really repeat this cycle probably for many years, to be perfectly honest. And it just, like, it was just the same cycle: restrict, binge, restrict, binge. And I didn't really understand then that just reintroducing everything I'd taken away, of course, would increase the calories. But when you don't have that awareness and understanding of it, it's so easy to get like stuck, basically. And I just kept thinking, like, it's me, like there's something wrong with me, because other people can do this and I can see other people doing this. Why can't I do it? And then I obviously began to realize like it was the approach that I was taking that just like wasn't working. I can't remember the exact turning point, but I just remember thinking like, enough is enough. Like, there has to be a way to do this where I can enjoy myself, I can live my life, I can look the way I want to look, I can feel confident without this constant cycle. And yet that's really where this whole sustainable coaching journey began. I wanted to do it properly, and I knew I didn't need more discipline, because when I was disciplined at work, I needed better strategies and I needed to know how to do it properly. At this stage, I joined the gym. I knew I wanted to build more muscle, but I had no idea what I was doing. I was terrified, and you know, I think a lot of people watching this who maybe haven't set foot in the gym or are currently setting foot in the gym, and you know, you can see my content and think it's easy for you. But I really was where you were once, and going into that gym, like, totally terrified. I mean, I have some funny videos, I'll insert them here, of just doing random, you know, band exercises, not knowing like what to do, not lifting the correct way. But, you know, putting myself out there, filming myself, learning how to do things, and putting myself out of my comfort zone with it. So I bought my first program, which was crazy for me to even think about investing into something like that. And I followed structured, proper strength training, and I really started to see the benefit with that, like really started to see the benefit. And this is when I started doing my qualification to become a coach myself. I started learning about nutrition. I started learning that it's not about eating as little as possible. It's about, you know, eating more of the right things and having more of a balance of maybe the things that weren't serving me and the goals I wanted to achieve. I started to build muscle and get stronger. Banning foods, I wasn't taking away socializing. I actually was still doing these things, but just to a different degree. So instead of binge drinking, getting chips and cheese on the way home, I was maybe like setting myself a limit of like 4 to 6 drinks, and then getting home and having like a bagel thin with a bacon medallion, and making really sensible swaps like that, but still having a really great time enjoying my life. From my qualification and my own experience, I've now built a life that I don't need to reset from, I don't need to escape from. I have maintained these results now for 6-7 years, and that's something I'm really, really proud of. The reason why my method before wasn't working is because it was so extreme. I couldn't stick to it. It wasn't something that I could have done long term, as I've seen, and that's why it didn't work. And the reason I've been able to maintain it for so many years now is I train to feel strong. I train for the mental benefit. I don't train to lose weight or to try and be smaller. I eat in a way that supports my body. I still have the things I want to have. I still socialize, you know, 1 to 2 times per week. I've always done that through every dieting phase. It's something I massively promote on my Instagram, because I believe every woman can and should be able to do the same. I can go for dinner, have wine, go on holiday. I don't need to avoid any of that. And I don't need to lose a stone every time I go on holiday as well. I think that's a really big one. Like, I remember when I used to go on holiday, the shorts I wore on the first day would not fit me when I went home. And that for me was always such a painful thing. Now that just does not happen. I think the biggest thing is like my confidence doesn't depend on the scale. My weight has been variously different through this last 7 years. I've been, you know, 10 kg heavier than I am right now, but still looked fantastic during different build phases. So I understand the scales better, I understand different phases I'm working towards, and it's in a controlled manner, so the scales no longer dictates my confidence within myself. And I think that's the bit that like no one really speaks about. Fat loss is cool, fat loss is great, it gets us feeling confident, but the after bit, that's the best part. The bit where you actually can maintain it and feel in control and confident, like literally 365 days a year. And there is a point you can get to where that becomes your reality. And that's why I coach the way I do inside sustainable coaching, so other women can have that freedom and power as well. Most women don't need another diet. Like, we have tried everything. If you're watching this, I'm sure you have as well. They need structure, they need strength training, they need real life strategies that they can implement on a daily basis. Balance, that's it. And if you've lost weight before and you can't maintain it, just know you're not alone. And it's not that you can't do it, you most definitely can. You just don't know the right structure on how to do it yet. And once you nail that, that's when everything changes. So thank you for watching along and hearing a little bit more about my journey. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you found this useful, and head over to my Instagram because I post daily fitness tips and tricks on there as well. See you in the next one.